Get ready for the action because the Arizona softball team completely fell short in the Durham Regional as Duke swept them in a thrilling showdown. The Blue Devils mashed their way to victory, securing a decisive sweep and ending the Wildcats' season in heartbreaking fashion. We break down every crucial moment from this intense regional battle. The NFL offseason as the Kansas City Chiefs eye young talent, spotlighting undrafted defensive end Vincent Anthony Jr, who made waves as a Viper edge rusher at Duke, and see how he might fit into the Chiefs' future roster. Don't miss the rest of the story. Arizona softball team ends season after losing Durham Regional to Duke. The Arizona softball team concluded its season after falling to host Duke in the Durham Regional, ending their run in the tournament for the second consecutive year. The Wildcats were swept by the Blue Devils, marking a disappointing end to their postseason aspirations. The regional competition saw Arizona win its first 2 games to reach the final, but they could not hold off Duke in the decisive matchups. Duke secured a commanding sweep, winning the first game with an 8-6 victory, highlighted by 6 lead changes. The Blue Devils sealed the regional championship by defeating Arizona in the winner-take-all finale, 9-4, at Smith Family Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. UA coach Caitlin Lowe praised the Duke team's performance, noting that the victory was a result of gritty play and executing sound softball strategies. Lowe acknowledged the team's strong defense and timely hitting early in the games. We knew going into today, it was going to be about gritty performances and executing good softball. They were able to play pretty perfectly defensively and get the timely hit when it mattered early, Lowe stated. The team faced significant challenges, including a momentum swing where Arizona trimmed a 3-0 deficit to 3-2 with a run in the 4th inning. However, Duke responded forcefully in the bottom half of the game, scoring 4 runs, including a crucial 2-run home run that gave Duke a 5-2 lead. Amina Vega hit a deep fly ball that resulted in a 2-run home run for Arizona, shifting the momentum. Key offensive contributions came from Dawnna Jennings, who recorded 6 runs, a home run, and a double, and Amina Vega, who drove in 7 runs with 2 home runs and a double. Conversely, Arizona senior Sydney Stewart struggled offensively, going 0 for 7 with only a walk in the games. Duke's pitching and hitting were dominant, with the Blue Devils hitting 4 home runs in each game Sunday, totaling 17 across the 5 games in the regional. Duke star Sydney Stewart was kept in check, recording only a walk across the 2 games. For Arizona, the loss follows a challenging year. Their last super regional appearance was in 2024, where they were swept by Oklahoma State. The team's resilience was highlighted by players like Taylor Beal, who reflected on her time at Arizona, emphasizing the value of the program's lessons and connections. Regan Shockey also expressed pride in the team's character-building moments. Coach Lowe emphasized the culture built by the team during the offseason, stating, "They took it upon themselves to absolutely get after the locker room and what they wanted it to look like this year. In a year where nobody in the country knew what to do with us or where to rank us or what we were going to look like, they wrote their own story." Duke, the number 12 overall seed in the NCAA tournament, advances to the Super Regional to face the number 5 seed Arkansas. The Big 12 contingent includes former UA standout Dakota Kennedy, signaling a competitive landscape moving forward in the postseason. the Arizona Wildcats failed to secure the crucial victory needed to advance to the Super Regionals, falling to the Duke team in the Durham Regional. The loss underscored a significant defensive struggle and costly errors throughout the contest, overshadowing any claims of environmental factors influencing the game. Duke's offense was potent, featuring 4 home runs early and 4 more later, capitalizing on a relatively humid environment at the 404-foot altitude of Durham, North Carolina. The game was characterized by pitching difficulties for both teams and offensive prowess, suggesting defense and officiating decisions played a pivotal role. Critical errors emerged early, including a missed obstruction call in the bottom of the first inning that allowed Duke to take an early lead. Subsequent challenges by both teams regarding this call, along with another obstruction call in the second inning involving a collision between center fielder Donna Jennings and Duke's Regan Shockey, significantly altered the game's trajectory. The defensive drama intensified in the fourth inning. A crucial error by Arizona's center fielder Grace Jenkins, who misjudged a routine catch, allowed Duke to score 2 runs, tying the game at 6 apiece. This defensive lapse was compounded by the physical toll on Shockey, who sustained a shoulder injury after colliding with the outfield wall, leading to her eventual removal from the game. The loss of Shockey had a profound impact on Arizona's performance. Despite moments of offensive production, including a high-scoring rally in the bottom of the fourth, Arizona could not sustain the pressure. The offense stalled in the 7th inning as the team went 1-2-3. Errors by Arizona's defense in the late innings also contributed to the scoreboard pressure. The defeat ends the Arizona Wildcats' season with a record of 37-18. With key players completing eligibility, the team faces an uncertain future as the portal opens, prompting fans to watch how new talent navigates the competitive landscape. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons baseball team concluded its regular season in a dominant fashion, defeating rival Duke in a high-scoring affair. The Deacons secured their 9th consecutive victory, winning 7-2 on Thursday, extending their winning streak to 10 games in a row. This series victory marked their 3rd straight win against the Blue Devils since the 2023 campaign, capping off a successful regular season where they finished with a record of 38 wins and 18 losses, and 16 wins and 14 losses in the conference. The regular season concluded on Saturday with the Demon Deacons achieving a 3rd consecutive series sweep against Duke. The game itself was characterized by a late surge in offense. Scoring did not commence until the 4th inning when Andrew Costello put the Deacons on the board following an RBI single from Matt Kant. Costello scored again in the 6th inning off of a double by Dalton Wentz, while Boston Torres extended his hit streak to 13 games with an RBI single. Wake Forest starter Cameron Bagwell pitched effectively for 5 innings, allowing only 4 hits and 1 walk, but the team's lead shrank to 3-2 in the 6th after Bagwell walked a runner and allowed a 2-run home run. Ryan Bosch entered the game to relieve Bagwell, successfully holding the Duke Blue Devils scoreless for 1.2 innings while recording 2 strikeouts. Blake Morningstar started the 8th inning but allowed a double, and after a sacrifice bunt and a walk, Duke took a 7-3 lead, highlighted by a 3-run home run from Colton Quagliano in the 1st inning of the contest. Despite the late deficit, Wake Forest managed to get runners on 2nd and 3rd in the top of the 9th, but the Deacons were unable to score, ending the game with a 3-3 tie. Looking ahead, the Demon Deacons have secured the number 6 seed in the upcoming ACC tournament, scheduled to take place from May 19 to 24 at Truist Field in Charlotte, North Carolina. Wake Forest will face either the number 11 Louisville or the number 14 Pittsburgh on May 20, with the first pitch set for 9:00 p.m. The Kansas City Chiefs are aggressively pursuing talent ahead of the NFL's upcoming OTAs, aiming to fill their 91-man offseason roster with high-potential players. As the team solidifies its roster, attention is turning to defensive end depth, where an undrafted free agent prospect named Vincent Anthony Jr. is emerging as a notable developmental option. Anthony, a former Viper edge rusher at Duke, has demonstrated proficiency in a specialized defensive scheme. In his 4 seasons at Duke, Anthony accumulated 15 sacks, including 7.5 in 2025, alongside 8 batted passes and 1 forced fumble. Anthony played the Viper edge rusher role in Duke's 4-man front, a variation of the traditional 4-3 defense that demands an explosive player capable of quickly generating speed and covering ground to the sideline. Despite a relatively thin physique, Anthony possesses a tall, lanky frame and long arms that suggest potential for success on the edge. His effectiveness at Duke stemmed from a combination of bending the corner and possessing above-average length. Analysis of his game indicates that Anthony can utilize his long arms to compete with tackles off the snap, leveraging flexibility to overwhelm opponents. His signature move off the edge is a rip, which maximizes his length while allowing him to create separation and bend the arc effectively. However, observers note that Anthony requires significant refinement. His game lacks explosive speed and quickness, and he has limited power or pocket-crushing ability, with hand-fighting needing considerable work. Furthermore, his play strength is not suited for run downs. While Anthony will not be signed to replicate his Duke performance, the Chiefs appear interested in utilizing him in a developmental capacity, potentially starting on the practice squad as a rookie to adapt to the Chiefs' defense. The Chiefs' front office has signed numerous undrafted free agents, prioritizing athletic prospects, and Anthony is positioned favorably among these targets as a developmental edge rusher.